2-on-1. Green the finish. Wow, the alley-oop. Gerald Green. Oh, Green soaring through the air.
We're starting off with the time Gerald Green came up big against the Phoenix Suns when it mattered most. Take a look at this.
Ariza will bring it in. In the corner. Gerald Green. Gerald Green!
Green had just 1 second to let a shot fly for the Houston Rockets with his team down by 1 point, and he didn't hesitate at all when he rose up and fired that triple to try and win it. The man even hit a cool celebration by just leaning down onto the floor as he got mobbed by his teammates. This wasn't the only time that Green did something seemingly miraculous. Watch this man jump up for an alley-oop slam during a fast break, a dunk that saw him put his entire head over the rim in midair.
Petro, good rebound. Nice outlet. On the run, 2-on-1. Green the finish. Wow, the alley-oop.
How many times do you see a guy soar like that while flying down the court? Green used every single bit of his athleticism for this game to get the crowd roaring and on their feet there. And since we're talking about Gerald getting his whole head above the rim, watch him literally practice this with his teammates. Yeah, this was something he knew he could do. Just watching him do something like this feels kind of fake. Like, it doesn't feel normal for a guy to just take a standard run up to the net and fly that high into the air with ease. For the most part, even the most athletic players in the league can't consistently put their head over the rim. But Green isn't just a great dunker, he also provided a spark every time he subbed in for the Houston Rockets. During this 2018 game against the Golden State Warriors, Gerald came into the game while James Harden was out and put on a show to keep them in contention. Take a look at some of these highlights.
6 or 7 shooting for the Warriors in that first quarter. Faked by Green, tries and floats. John Gruden, maybe by John Gruden. Here comes Gerald Green off the bench, works on Green. Green over Green. Wow. To Weber. He'll glide and feed. Green. He put in another one.
Green came off the bench here and scored a whopping 29 points pretty easily against Golden State. Pretty much every team wishes they could have a guy come off the bench and score at will like this.
Paul, outside Green, thinking three, bullseye! Gerald Green is gone mad!
This next moment shows Gerald obliterating the rim not once, but twice in the same game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Check out these vicious slams.
Conscious of taking care of him and taking care of the team moving forward. Gerald Green! Oh my, Serge Ibaka! Lead ahead by 14, under 3 minutes left first half. Nice wraparound pass by Dragic. Green! Oh my!
So yeah, what do you guys think the rim did to Green before this game started? The guy was throwing down dunks like he had a vendetta against the rim throughout that entire night. Not only that though, a few Cavaliers found themselves on the wrong end of a highlight by being right under the poster dunks. I'm definitely glad I wasn't a Cavalier on the court during this game. Now remember, we talked about him being a spark for his team, and here's another beautiful example of that.
And Gerald Green, one of the all-time streak shooters to ever lace him up.
Here's Green's three. Here's Gerald Green set up for a 3-ball. Wow, 20 points in this first half for Gerald Green.
Not going to slow down much, it appears.
9 of 11, Gerald Green. He catches the ball, he's shooting. Rudy Gay ran into him, and thus free throws for Gerald Green. Timeout.
Green let the Sacramento Kings have it, dropping a cool 30 points by knocking down shot after shot on them over the course of this game. This guy has a ridiculously smooth jumper, and you can tell by watching some of these plays. Gerald also had a nice shooting night against the Milwaukee Bucks to drive them insane. Take a look at some of these plays from another excellent performance.
Smart. Back to a cut. Gerald Green. 8 on the shot clock. Smart. Green coming hard to the basket, has it stripped away, gets it back. Steal by Brown this time, ahead. Gerald Green.
Green dropped 18 points and added on 6 rebounds in a dominant Boston Celtics win over the Bucks. He even threw down a nasty slam off a fast break towards the end of the game to really start to rub it in their faces. Man, I'm glad I wasn't a Bucks fan when this game was going on. I would have probably went home crushed after that performance. But honestly, that's really nothing compared to the game he had with the Phoenix Suns against the Oklahoma City Thunder. He literally did it all on the offensive end.
Great big three-point range at rolling pace. Back to Perron. He'll bury that three. The smallest guy gets the rebound. What a pass by Ish!
Gerald ended that night with a career-high 41 points against Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. This game had a handful of NBA superstars, and yet Gerald Green was the one who completely stole the show with his efficiency.
Off the spectacular third, it's a steal by Green! One man back, rolls it up and in!
But hey, no efficiency needed on this next play with the Boston Celtics. Green watched his teammate throw a pass off the glass, and he responded by doing this.
Down the floor, Tony Allen off the glass and a dunk by Gerald Green!
This has got to be one of the wildest dunks I've ever seen. He looks like he mistimed the jump at the start, but his athleticism kept him levitating through the air, and he managed to corral it with just one hand. You really don't get to see stuff like this very often. This next play isn't too common either. Green completely surprised a Charlotte Hornet with a steal, and then followed his own created fast breakup with a windmill dunk on his home floor.
The steal from Green, and watch this. The home crowd.
My goodness, that Charlotte player didn't even see what hit him when he got pickpocketed. Gerald came flying in out of nowhere to swipe it away before that dunk. Now, because of his athleticism, Green just seems to be the perfect teammate to toss up alley-oops to in a game. Isaiah Thomas made sure to take advantage of that when he saw a cutting Gerald going towards the rim. Check this slam out.
Over the top. Oh, Gerald Green!
Thomas saw it all coming together from a mile away with this pass that was right on the money, by the way. Green then made quick work of the alley-oop when nobody on defense paid any attention to where he was on the floor. When you let a guy like Green snag a steal and create a fast break for himself, it's basically a highlight waiting to happen. My guy here snagged an interception against the New York Knicks, and he flew down the court before throwing down this dunk. Guys, Gerald might as well be the human highlight reel with the way he's dishing out reverse dunks and windmills like it's practically nothing. And not only is Green a wonderful player, but he's a pretty great teammate to have back you up when you need it most. Watch as he defends Chris Paul in this game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Gorgui Dieng shoved Paul to the ground, and Gerald instantly ran over to him and shoved him into the stands. I can't blame the guy for stepping up to defend his friend and leader like that. Dieng probably should have seen that scuffle coming when he started that. Green didn't start this next highlight either, but he sure as heck made sure to finish it in a way that only he can. Watch how it all worked out. The ball just so happened to bounce its way over to him as he ran down the court by himself, and instead of taking the easy layup, Green threw out a windmill slam to kick this game off right. It definitely feels like we've seen this all before, right? Jeff Pendergraph threw a beautiful alley-oop to a cutting Gerald Green to formulate this perfect play. It doesn't matter what jersey Green is wearing in the NBA, the man doesn't change the insane athleticism he has. And speaking of that, look at this insane dunk that got everybody saying, oh my. Green soared through the air against the Utah Jazz after avoiding a screen from a teammate, and he slammed it down hard with one hand. A Jazz defender attempted to jump up and block it as he was running past, but it really didn't matter. Gerald literally flew through the air to throw it down. And even when Green doesn't have anybody to pass the ball to, he still finds a way to create a highlight. This time he got as creative as he possibly could despite getting completely backed into a corner.
Gerald Green wiggles up and scores! He passed it to himself!
Instead of passing the ball like you'd think, Green went around him and tossed it clean off the backboard before throwing it down over Nikola Vucevic. Vucevic didn't even know what happened when that ball got thrown right over his head. Some people even say that Green plays basketball above the rim more than he does below it. In this particular instance, it seems that might be true. Watch how this one played out. A teammate for the Indiana Pacers saw him cutting to the rim, and they didn't hesitate to toss it up to him. Don't worry though, Gerald made sure to prove his teammates' confidence bright. Alright, finally, we got a monstrous putback dunk over Mason Plumlee during this game against the Portland Trailblazers. Green got on the offensive glass after a teammate's three-point attempt, and he flew into the paint when nobody on Portland decided to try and box out. Green not only perfectly timed it and got to the rim, but he completely postered Plumlee on the way. I'm sure this might have been a learning lesson for Mason after this to never forget to box out on a missed shot ever again. Otherwise, something like this is going to happen every time.